I'm pleased to welcome Noble Ackerson, technical consultant, chief customer support artist, web software developer, and so much more exciting stuff. Be sure to ask him questions during the live with the hashtag GlassLive on Twitter or Google+. Hello, Noble.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. May you introduce yourself for a start?
Well, first, thanks for having me on here. You guys are doing um a great deed, I guess, to try to humanize Google Glass Explorer is very important. I'm again Noble. I live in Washington D.C. Well, right outside the U.S. Capitol, and right now I'm a co-founder and product development person at Silica Labs, and I'm building software for wearable computers. That's my primary focus.
Okay, so how did you get Glass?
I applied for the privilege of getting Glass last year at Google I/O. I was one of the few thousand that signed up, and I got my Glass earlier. I'm guessing because I also participated in a Foundry, which is a hackathon that they had earlier in January, I think February this year. And so, um, yeah, I got my Glass in April. So I was very, very excited about that.
And quickly, what is your point of view on glass and wearable computing? Would you say it's the future of technology?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's sort of a natural evolution of where we're going as a society. Unfortunately, our society, fortunately or unfortunately, our society wants information, relevant information right there when we need it. Um, you know, in the age of Twitter, we want to be able to be connected. We also have this thirst as a society that we want to always share what we see or what our environment and what we interact with right there and then. But I think it's a natural evolution.
So you're saying that you develop apps for wearable computing. Did you already start, or is it just a concept? Do you develop apps for glass, for example?
Absolutely. Actually, I'm the creator of GlassFit. And I believe that's one of the first, if not the first, fitness app for glass. And people love using it. I'm actually still working on it. It's actually why I quit my job and joined Silica Labs and started that company along with another Glass Explorer because I felt that fitness is something that sort of goes hand in hand with wearable in the sense that right now, if I'm working out, it'd be great to have context as to what workout's coming up, how to properly do the workout, and also get relevant information while I'm doing that specific activity. Um, and also, I'm not, I say we're building software for wearables because I'm not trying to restrict myself to Google Glass. Google Glass is great because it gives me a monitor right in front of my peripheral, and I'm using that I'm working on software that basically brings all the other bits of wearable computers that we wear in our lives, and these wearable sensors that traditionally don't have, an interface like this, and I'm giving that data, I'm sending that data over to your interface. So, for example, your heart rate monitor, you don't really see what's going on as you're running, but someday I would like to have that heart rate monitor appear right there in your peripheral.
And so far, is the glass API powerful enough to develop such an app?
Um, so my proof of concept sort of gets us part of the way there. It sort of gives the user a set of cards showing what workout's coming and gives them basic statistics as to what has happened. And that's great for a proof of concept. But no, I think coupled with the API and SDK, a software development kit, which gives us lower access, gives us hardware and gesture controls or something equivalent, a little bit more control than we have right now, would be fantastic. And I look forward to sort of exploring what an SDK can have. And apparently, I don't know, it's rumored or it's been announced. I think recently it got announced by Google that they're coming out with their version of an SDK for Glass, which they're calling the GDK, the Glass Development Kit, which should, in my limited reading of what it's doing, should give us something like what might be needed for a great experience for fitness.
And we saw you used Fitbit, the Fitbit technology. Is it possible to develop an app which links the Fitbit technology to the glass technology today?
Yeah, so Fitbit has an application programming interface as well. So Fitbit um, is great because that's another wearable sensor that they've exposed a bit of their data to developers to be able to build on top of it. And it's a perfect candidate to what I'm trying to do. So yes, you can certainly build on top of Fitbit and send that data to your service. In my case, I'm sending or planning on sending my Fitbit data to my web service, and I'm doing stuff with it so that if you choose, you know, at every day at 11 o'clock in the morning and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you choose to want to get information about how many steps you've taken, you don't have to look at your app. It just sends it to you on Glass. And also, if you know, if you want to be reminded to get up and be more active, there's some interesting applications that can be built in that context.
And are you planning to develop other types of applications for glass? Oh, I guess we have an issue. Yeah, he's just quitting. Maybe a connection issue. That's the second time. Do you have questions? Yesterday.
We don't have question.
Be sure to ask your questions when Noble comes up again. We'll do the end of the interview, and we'll do the second interview, and then he'll answer your questions if you have some to ask. I hope so. I hope he'll come back.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's a little bit awkward.
Yep.
Hey, I
Hey,
have no idea what just happened.
I don't know.
My computer just went blank, and that was the result. Apologies. You were asking.
We are talking about other types of applications, other kind of applications than fitness style.
Yeah. So yeah, not. I think I was mentioning not limiting myself to the capabilities, the hardware capabilities, and introducing the ability to sort of focus on other wearable computers, because I recognize that Glass is not the only piece of wearable tech coming out by any means. I'm pretty sure Samsung might someday have something. Apple might someday have something in this field. And name the company. Pebble has software, hardware in this space as well. So, you know, not limiting myself to Google Glass is a great hedge for me. I strongly believe that Google Glass is going to be very successful. So that's sort of the first platform that I built my proof of concept upon.
So, since you have Glass, would you say it fulfilled the expectations you had about it?
It certainly, now that I understand what the purpose of Glass is, it certainly does. I had different expectations before I'd ever put Glass on. Um, I had the expectation that it was an augmented reality device, which it's not. Um, it actually it actually does more to augment ourselves and things relevant to us than it being an augmented reality device. So, so in that context, yes, it definitely changed my perspective of how to think about glass.
And when you wear Glass publicly, is there any awkward reaction by people seeing you?
That's a very good question. I believe so. I believe I've gotten a lot of positive reactions. Everyone has, recently, wanted to, want to try it, wants to see it, asks about it. And people who are sort of timid may not ask what it is because they want to be polite. I've gotten anything from people, quietly asking if this was a medical device of some sort. But by and large, people who notice it, um, know what it is. I've been around the world, or at least I've been to Europe, Spain specifically, and everyone in Spain seemed that I ran into seemed to know all about Google Glass. So it's been mostly positive. People are mostly excited about it.
And I know you went to Spain during the running of the Bull travel with Laser Gear on the Glass Life 6 and Charakili.
Yep.
Yep. And did Glass was helpful documenting this travel, this trip?
Yeah, I mean, Glass was helpful in so many different fronts while traveling. It was obviously great in documenting my entire travels because now I wasn't constricted by the bounds of a camera, right? So a camera lens wasn't in my way. I was able to sort of keep the camera or my phone away and sort of experience life, just look around, and if I wanted to capture the moment, it was just a voice command away. So from a point of documentation, yes, documenting and capturing your moments, unique perspectives while traveling is great. But glasses, I should mention, super helpful on every part of a traveler's journey. So from the part where you're planning for your trip, you're getting calendar notifications right in front of you. Google Now, which is a technology, an artificial intelligence or machine learning technology that is in Android devices, is sort of built in, baked into Glass. So it basically recommends places to eat if you're in a town that you've never been. Obviously, I speak English and I don't speak Spanish that well or at all. So I'm able to get translations. And obviously, the human element of Glass, we just talked about how Glass gets a lot of attention. All in all, I can say that Glass, has this way of connecting its wearer to the environment that he or she is in without, obstructing the view, right? Because it's positioned in a way that I have eye contact with a person, people are excited about it. If they say a word that I don't understand, I'm able to ask for translations, or I'm sorry, for whatever they're trying to tell me what it means. Of course, it has navigation and walking directions as well. So I think it's a perfect tour guide and sort of a travel partner, and makes you infinitely smarter. And makes you feel like you're a little bit smarter when you're traveling.
And do you wear glass 24 hours a day, or do you?
No, traditionally I don't. Actually, I'm just wearing glass now because of this interview. I figured it makes sense to wear it.
Yep.
But traditionally, if I'm in front of a computer as I am right now, I probably wouldn't be wearing glass. I tend to wear it when I know I'm gonna need it. Initially, in the first 3 months or so of owning glass, I would wear it every single place. I'd have it on, with the exception of maybe, being at dinner, interacting with friends. I would then sort of take it off and strap it around my neck, which I still do. I would, I just generally sort of keep it off in sort of intimate conversations, but keep it on when I'm sort of out and about. Because you never know. I love taking pictures, so I never know when an opportunity might come my way. I don't want to wish I had glass at the moment.
All right. And what would you say is the next step for you with glass now?
Well, I just quit my job, so the next step with glass would be to build, you know, some pretty impressive software, not just for glass, but for other wearables, but glass being my core focus. I want to change people's lives using Google Glass and using fitness software. And I want to be able to bring the concept of always being fit. So if you're at work and you are sitting down for a long time, you can actually dial up a stretch or a workout as you're sitting in front of your computer in your suit. So I hope that is something that people get excited about, and that's because that's my primary focus right now.
That's a great focus, I guess, because we saw Angelo Miranda in the second interview, who is kind of a fitness teacher. He's using glass to teach fitness to other people through his website, and glass apps like that would be great for him, and it's a way to change society.
Yep.
I hope.
Yep.
And talking about glass in general, it's only a testing version with only 1,000 explorers around the world. How do you think glass will enter the full market?
I think I don't know whether you're asking when I think it's coming up or how it's gonna come
How?
out to the how it's gonna come out to the market is sort of slowly, I guess. It looks like Google's strategy right now is to sort of scale it out or sort of bring it out by allowing us to invite other people. So slowly would be how. When, I have no idea. I hope soon. That way we can test our software on more people. And where, I guess, hopefully I would wish they would, open up, like an Apple Store type store for just for glass in major cities so that you can go in and sit down and experience what it is, what it's like, pick yours, sort of like they're doing right now for the Glass Explorers.
And you don't think it will have the same impact as the iPhone had at its time? You think it will spread up slowly?
I think it would be a little bit more accelerated in its adoption than the iPhone, and this is why. The iPhone came out several years ago, and it was the newest thing, sort of a reimagination of what we thought of smartphones as. And I think it really took off after they announced the SDK and announced the App Store, because then not only did you have a phone that was connected to the internet, you now had a native platform where you could find any app that made you want to use your iPhone more. What Google has done is basically done that in an accelerated fashion, where they're saying, all right, before this thing comes out, software developers get to build apps for it so that by the time it comes out, people would have a reason to get it. And I think that's very smart. Frankly, it's a model that I'm hoping to see more and more companies adopt, because, in my opinion, glass only lives or dies in the hands of developers. I'm not going to convince my mother or my, fitness instructor or my nutritionist or my doctor to buy glass unless they have a reason in their line of work or in their personal lives to get it. Just having a camera on your face and Google Now and Gmail and Twitter and some things are great to start with, but having the ability to learn how to cook a new meal while your hands are occupied, is very valuable to some people that I know in my life. So,
Do you think glass will have an impact on our society, like in the industry or other domains?
yeah. So this perfect question, because, as I said, different industries are going to find ways to sort of make money using glass, I hope. And different people, different developers and software firms are going to find ways to change people's lives with glass. So, as I was just giving an example, with culinary arts, people are going to want to sort of help people cook more. People are going to help people go out and get fit more, as I'm doing. Um, you know, it'd be great to have, glass at every museum that I go to. I pick up my glass, and as I'm going through the artifacts, I'm learning more about what I'm looking at. I'm getting contextual information. I was recently on a helicopter flight. Um, I was learning how to fly a helicopter, and as I sat there and he started taking off, there was so much going on. He was listening to the weather forecast. He was listening to the tower, the control tower. He was paying attention to his instruments. And once we got up in the air, he was watching out for more planes or helicopters. He was looking out for more birds while doing all the other things that I just mentioned. And if glass or a piece of wearable computer with a visual interface is able to take one of those things away, this pilot could have improved his focus on actually flying the helicopter by twofold. So as far as industry is concerned, aviation may be revolutionized um, by glass, I think. Education certainly will be transformed by glass as well.
Many of the explorers we've interviewed so far told us that glass would be a big product in the professional life of people, but not so much in their normal life. In fact, do you share this opinion?
I don't. I think, again, once people find a use for glass, it's almost symbiotic. And the reason why I don't agree with that opinion is professionals are going to want to build glass for stuff that makes them more efficient. And also, businesses are going to want to build glass to keep individuals connected in new ways, right? So I think it's people are going to want to use glass more once they find a use for glass. and that's why businesses are going to thrive using in this medium, and that why people are going to use it more. Um, because if the people in the educational sector, as an example, start including wearable development and software development for Google Glass in as far as their stuff. Right now, it's all about mobile, and if you bring it a step closer, you now open up an opportunity of, a multi-million or probably multi-billion-dollar industry for education in wearables. Okay, and at the same time, the person who goes to that school wearing glass and is able to sort of learn about artifacts in Egypt half a world away in real time, if they're not in Egypt, um, is able to sort of change their worldview about how they interact, how, things that they do, and that actually then permeates in their life. They actually go out and go get their own glass device, and learn and stay connected more. I think the notion that it's only going to be successful in professional circles is a little bit misguided.
Well, obviously, glass is a bit scary because of lack of privacy or what it looks like, or from a different point of view. What is your opinion on that?
Before I got glass, I was very concerned about that. I actually even created these glass etiquette cards because of the growing concern that people were going to freak out every time they saw someone with glass. After using glass for as long as I've used it, personally, I think that was completely unfounded and baseless. People are very excited about glass. People are not concerned at all about its privacy. Frankly, the only time that I get questions regarding glass privacy is when someone first sees me with glass and asks, "What do I see right now? Are you recording me?" Those are the first two questions that I get mostly. And once I show them that, hey, you can see when glass is on, and when I start recording you, you can see it right there. The screen lights up. That fear goes away. And then they want to try it, and then they won't give it back to me. So the privacy fear, a little bit overblown. I know several governments and lawmakers are going to want to sort of knee-jerk make these laws before even trying them. But generally, once people try them, they sort of understand what it is, and the fear goes away.
What would you say two main misconceptions about glass are?
Well, one is perfect. It's actually a perfect segue. One is exactly that people are completely um, misinformed about what glass is, right? They think it's always recording. They think it's always on. And then you explain to them that, one, if it was always recording, the battery life would be terrible, right? And two, if I were to violate your privacy with glass, that'd be the weirdest form factor to violate your privacy with. Because if I was recording you across the restaurant, I would have to be staring at you the entire time, and that would make for an awkward, spy villain person. I'm sure working in DC, working and living in Washington D.C., I'm sure there are a lot more covert ways to accomplish that if I was a creep, right? Um, but generally, people don't care. People think it's cool. People want to try it out. People are more concerned about their emails being read in this day and age than me having a cell phone camera on my face.
We are near to the end of this first interview. What advice would you give to glass lovers like us who can't have glass yet so they can get one?
What advice? Very good question. I would say understand what it is, and thank you, by the way, for including me in your series of hangouts about this, because this sort of educates the world a little bit I'm an explorer by definition, according to Google, and I think this is my job. So I'm privileged to have this early. My job is to self educate and also educate other people. So one piece of advice would be, definitely get familiar with Glass if you are interested in it. Read about it, follow certain communities. I started the Society of Glass Enthusiasts, and that it's sort of a federated, open group of different groups of people who are highly enthusiastic about glass. Anyone can create one, and I believe there's one in France. Right now, I know there's certainly one in Italy and Germany, and even Australia, and there are tons all over the United States, with well over 2,000 or 2,500 total users. So I would encourage people who are at least interested in this medium to join one of those or create one. You can easily find that information on the internet or on Google Plus. So self-educate yourself, and once you become well versed in it, educate other people and watch podcasts like Glass Live.
Here goes the last question. In one word, what does Google Glass mean for you?
In one word, opportunity.
All right, great. You all got different answers on this question.
I'm sorry?
You all got different answers on this question.
I was gonna say future, but I figured somebody's already probably said that.
I don't think we got future already. No. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Noble, for having been with us.
It was a pleasure. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties in the beginning.
Don't worry. See you soon for the GlassStory interviews. Don't forget to check out our Twitter, our Facebook, and our Google+, and the site glassstories.com.
Hi again, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, be sure to let us a comment. And don't forget you can watch the next Explorers interview clicking right here, or the previous clicking right there. Also, don't forget to check out the website glassstories.com for more exciting stuff about what Google Glass is. Bye! Bye bye.